nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. Let heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. Let heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. Let heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Lord is come.
Good evening. Sam Tolbert, Sound of Joy Music Services, and we're into the 12th month of 2024. It doesn't seem like we had our first stream in January, and we were looking forward to the things that we wanted to cover for 2024, and now here we are looking at 2025, basically a couple of weeks away. If you want to figure out that the weeks seem to come and go so quickly, and I wanted to have a not just one stream. I'll probably stream a couple more times before the end of the year. So I want to be able to catch everybody because I have so many viewers to thank for 2024 for making this our best year for new subscribers, our best monetized year, which means that you've been not only viewing the videos a little longer and giving those likes, but you've been sharing it with others. Uh, what other bests can I look at from my YouTube analytics? Again, and my platform hasn't changed. It's always been what can I share with musicians looking to enhance what they're doing in supporting their services. Best year um, in subscriber growth. Best year in amount of views. I think I was averaging last year between 30 and 40,000 views. So far this year, it's down a little bit, but we've been averaging between 55 and 68,000 views. That's every month. That's not just over one video. I wish it was just one video. Some videos for me went viral with over 8,000 views this year, and I tried to duplicate what I did on those videos, and it hasn't worked out. But still, the viewer count is up. Watch hours are up. They're a little down this month, but I understand we're into the holiday season. People are not looking at me on YouTube, but they're enjoying their families and the actual festivities. Hey, Tristone, how you doing? Where else are we up? And of course, we're up in our YouTube monetization, which for me only became active in 2021. Now I've been on YouTube since 2006, and when they began to monetize the channels, I was amongst the first putting in their request to be monetized, and went probably about 10, 12 years before I got monetized, and I kept wondering what was I doing wrong. I kept getting the message back, it's still under review, and I'm like, well, but I'm watching all these other channels who weren't teaching gospel music like I was, monetized, and they're running with their channels and outgrowing me with their own views and their subscribers. But when I became monetized and I got that email that says you are now a monetized channel, I'm like, yay! But I couldn't make up for all those lost views. My watch is letting me know that I've reached another goal of which goal did I reach? Oh, I reached my move goal. I got to monitor myself. I need to be active. I sprained my knee probably 10 days ago, resting, strangely enough. So I've been rehabbing it, trying to make sure that I can get it back to where I want it to be. And it's on the mend. But welcome to me, Chick. How you letting you know that I had transposed that song, but I got the chords on that song? You'll have to remind me what song that was. I've seen hundreds of songs, and as I say, once I learn one song, I wash it out of my mind so I can learn the next one and put together a all encompassed encompassed. That's the word I want. So I cover everybody, because again, I pay attention to the actual comments. Oh yes, the comments are up, the likes are up. Um, I'm just looking at all of the analytics. My foreign views are up. These are the people who will view outside the United States. My female viewers is up. My 13 to 17-year-old viewers are up. So hopefully those are brand new musicians who are exploring the internet, looking to see how they can get into playing gospel music. I'm looking at all of the age groups. Again, YouTube really has a way of, I guess when you ask them your birthday, I believe that's when you set up, you got to tell them your birthday. They put you in a bucket for those of us who are content creators. So we'll know which audience are we getting the most reach from. And right now, my most active audience is 25 to 34 years. That's 22%. But between 18 and 65, that's where the bulk of my viewership is coming from. And I do appreciate the views. Sometimes I'm wondering when because I'm one of those content creators that looks at other content creators in my space, and when I see that they post a video, which I watch because I want to learn something too, and in the first hour they've got 8,000 views, and I'm like, okay, what did they do differently than I'm doing? Okay, I don't look like them. I don't have the same setup as they're using, but the music is music, number one, but what type of presentation are they giving? So I pay attention as to what the audience is viewing. But again, I do appreciate the amount of views that I have watched grow this year. And let's see, what else can we look at? Oh, the Alvin Darling song in A flat. Yes, we did We did a whole presentation on that song just for you so that you can get as comfortable as possible. My subscriber count, the non subscribers who watch the channel are, uh, I won't say double because I get 29% of my viewers are have all subscribed, but the non-subscribers is 70%. That's a lot of people, but that's a lot of people coming in to visit. They stop in, they see maybe one video, maybe two videos, and they don't feel like subscribing. Maybe I don't push subscribe. I realize that it is a taboo on YouTube nowadays to be pushing subscribe. But if you don't say anything, and I try not to have all those flashy things on your screen, I do have the videos for that say subscribe, and perhaps I should incorporate that in my videos. But I certainly will look at that or try that in as we're ending this year as I do more videos. And I'm looking at doing more polished videos. I try to shoot the video within 10 to 15 minutes, and if I don't mess up doing it, the video goes right out to get it out to you as quickly as possible. Other sites I see, they shoot the video, they do jump cuts, they'll put in B-roll, they'll bring in other things, and that's probably what's giving them the more views. I've got that same software, and I've got a computer that can allow me to do that. So for 2025, that's on my radar, is to cut down the amount of videos that I'm putting out, but become more professional in the approach. So just be warned, requests may now take 2 weeks versus the next day or 2 or 3 days as I look to improve. I see your comment, Reiki Music. Hey Sam, what should I be practicing to become fluid in my playing? I was going to ask ChatGPT what questions, if I were a new musician, would I pose to someone who has a channel like I do that is open to showing everything they possibly can to help a musician recognize growth. And I think that is one of um, the caveats to this space that I have, is that I don't have a website where I am actively one on one with I'll call them subscriber, where you're paying a certain amount every month, where you have direct access to me. So I never know where your level is, and if what I'm showing you or giving you is increasing your level, keeping you stagnant, or maybe discouraging you, because I may hit a chord that's in the song that, even though I've shown what it looks like, your fingering and muscle memory is not at that point yet. So, in answer to your question, what should you be practicing? I often say people would ask a question and it's disingenuous to answer a question with a question, so I won't do that. So and let me see, let me change my point of view, because I'm better at showing than I am about talking. Let's change the point of view. I often challenge musicians with the very basic first when it comes down to music. When you sit down to your keyboard, before you've played a single note, do you start your practicing session? And I mean a session, it's not a 2 or 3 hour marathon, but an actual practicing session. Do you start with basic major scales in every key? Not just C, not just one hand, but both hands, and in every key. Fluid, not rushing, just to get your hands used to moving across the notes. And you see, I've got two hands in two different octaves. This is how I would warm up as a youngster, just to get my muscle memory in place. Then I would speed it up And as you can see, both hands are in sync. And going in one direction. And finally, there we go. So if you're not starting with the basic scales, again, you don't have to do this. That's what I do because I've worked on becoming quicker in my scale practicing, not to get it out of the way, but to see whether or not my muscle memory has tightened up. That's where your fluidity comes in. It's all about your hand movement. And as you can see, my hands stay right down to the keyboard. You don't see this. You don't see my hand going up and down as I'm practicing the scales, but I'm getting my hands comfortable. I'm adjusting the volume by touch. If I want to get louder, then I let my fingers pivot to give me that loudness. And that's just for touch. Fluid is like water. Does your hands flow? I want to go down, 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 down. Haven't done this one in a while. E. Da, da, da. What I'm doing is I'm indiscriminately going from scale to scale. No book shows me this. It is what I would do so that I could hear where the notes are when I look at the keyboard. I should know this sounds like C. This sounds like C but higher. This sounds like C but higher. Every note in between. And as you can see, I can land right on it. I can land on the note because that's what I would practice, so that when I want to do a chord and I'm in C, I can now be fluid. Now, we haven't even covered chord names. We're just getting comfortable trying to often, in fact, I haven't played yet today, I don't think. No, I didn't do any videos today. I was doing a lot of YouTube surfing. But when I'm in a practice mode, I'm in a, how can I put it? I want to hear the chord before I play it. If I want to hear tension in the chord and I know I'm going to be in C, I know a tension chord is two notes directly, the half, the full note, and the next note directly above it. I know that's going to be tension. That's tension. No matter which two I pick, tension, tension, tension. But I know that in order to make that tension sound better, I've got to apply more chords to it. But it depends upon where I'm going to put that tension at. If I'm going to think of a Kirk Franklin song, my tension's right here. Tension is still there. And if I look at the scale, there's my tension notes in the scale, and just adding more chords around it, extending it out to more notes. But all these are the chords that I've learned in every song that I have ever played. Okay, so good. You've practiced them, but if you watch what I'm doing, I'm able to float into any key I want to. I can go like this. From any key I want, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B major, E major, A major, D major, G major, C major. Float right into a scale, no at will. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm calling them out, but I'm actually floating into them. Part of one scale. Next scale. Next scale. Next scale. Next scale. Next scale. Next scale. Putting on the notes. Next scale. A. Let's go into C. There it is. F. B flat. E flat. When I talk scales as a training tool. Teach your hands how to move. Teach your ears how to know in this position is this note, in this position is that note, in these positions are that note. And then you can find the chords that are associated with those notes. These are just the format of the scale. Every note I played is in the E flat major scale. When I start to float around them to find what I want to do with them, if I want to go this chord, this full chord is in the E flat major scale. This chord is in the E flat major scale. If you look at all the notes, this chord is in the E flat major scale. It's just the notes I don't play that give it that tone. Then I can float around. And change it into a whole different sound. That is the reward there is from practicing scales, not just from I practiced them because that's what my teacher told me or my instructor said, but the instructor wants to know, okay, play me Mary Had a Little Lamb in the key of B major. If you got to search for the first note of Mary Had a Little Lamb in the key of B major, then you don't practice your scales with a purpose. It's always going to be the third note in any scale, no matter what key. In A major, third note in A major is what? C sharp. In the key of E major, third note in the key of E major is going to be G sharp. Now, what does that say? That says that you have scale recognition of a melody, which is based mainly on the scales, unless you're doing gospel music. C sharp, F sharp, A, B major. I gotta think about it. Diminished chord. There it is. Take me to C, to E, and then back to E major. Because you're going to find the songs that you're learning in the CCM, they all sing scales. Jazz. My tension. Now see how easy it was to throw in those tension chords? Because once I figured out where they were by looking at the scales, what they sound like, what those two notes together, where they will be located, apply the melody, add the additional chords, which are based on the major scale, unless you're, again, doing a gospel song, which takes you all over the place. Then all of a sudden, it flows. Change it. There it is. There it. And I'm gonna wind up here. There it is. As you can hear, you hear me humming out those chords before I went to go find them? I had to find the range. Now I'm gonna go bum 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 ba dum ba dum. Dum, da, da, da. But until I've learned where the notes that I'm hearing in my head are located, now I'm not singing up here, I'm down here, but I know that octave is just a reach away. And we're still in E major. Bum, bum, da, 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 diminished chord. I know it's going to be a diminished chord. B major chord. No, B major. There it is. But I played the wrong chord. I knew it was wrong because I know what I want to hear. Hold on. F sharp. All for me from practicing scales, and which is why I push scales, make sure I didn't miss any questions while I was giving a demonstration. But to get that fluidity, first of all, record yourself playing, record yourself practicing. Most musicians will only record themselves when they're in service, and that's the wrong time to record yourself, because you are constricted to what's happening at that moment. When you're in a practice mode, you can do anything. You can do peanuts. Wrong bass. B. Scales. That's all that is. Bass hand. Scales. But broken scales for a bass player. If I told you how long it took for me to get comfortable getting both of those together, probably 5 to 10 years, because I did not have syncopation. I had to work on syncopation to where I can move both hands without thinking about it. Now, if I went up to A major, which I've never done, this is where the work comes in. Now, what's the note going to change to? Into A, C. C, right? A. I've never changed the key on this song before. So now I gotta think. What's the next chord? B, E. A major. So yes, I just taught myself to do something that I normally don't do, is to change that song into a key that I don't practice in. But that is the nature of a musician. If you don't know what you sound like today, you won't know what you want to sound like tomorrow. And for a musician, tomorrow is 5 minutes after they played today. For me, like you saw, I just messed up that song A, but as I kept doing it, I kept listening to what am I doing wrong. My muscle memory is used to being up here. Now this is different muscle memory, but I used to practice this. I used to practice that as an exercise, not just one hand, but both hands. It's a stretch exercise. It's a fluid exercise. Down, up, down, and up. Ah, all right. I stretch into another. This is another exercise that I do. Now, do I ever use that during the service? No. It's for practice. It's for. It's like if you're a if you're a weightlifter, or if you're lifting weights and you start off with the 5 pound weights, you don't go from 5 pounds to 50 pounds, but you add on a little bit more to see if your stamina can take it. So this is all about training your hands to, as I often say, play at the speed of thought. C, E, F, G, F sharp, B flat, A flat, E flat, C, D flat, C sharp, octaves, B major, octaves, C, D, E, F, G, A flat, B, C. Now again, speed of thought. C, F. I don't even look at the keyboard. A flat, D flat. What's gonna be? I'm not got my eyes closed. I want to say D, G. There we go. Got it. These are things that I would practice to see if I can find the keys that I'm hearing in my head with my eyes closed, which means I have to be centered. Because now I'm on a nice little swivel chair, so I'm not on a piano bench. But normally I would be centered over middle C, so I would know how my shifting would be. If I know I'm in middle C, I'm gonna go here. Now I'm gonna reach for here. But if I center myself, if I want to go to F and just pull a song out, what's the change? The change, one down more time, hold on the B flat over G, C over a B flat, my F7 chord, C or D flat over A flat minor, no, over F minor. Now this chord, I gotta remember the name of it, because we're in a different key. A over a C6. We're gonna call this a D minor 7. Right. B flat 7th. Major 7. Diminished chord. Now, it's not the exact chords, but I'm making them up as I'm listening to it. What key is this? Flat 7th. Now I'm making it up. chords I'm hearing in my head as I'm making it up. There's my tension chord, right? Flowing it. Classical. No. In my head, I said, let me throw that in there. Never played that song as a lesson before, but because I know the placement of the notes in a scale, I can go to any scale and guesstimate, first of all, where the notes should be in a major scale. But if I'm wrong, I'll be off by maybe one or two notes. I'll make sure I didn't miss anyone. So, what this channel originally was, when I joined the YouTube, well, I did have AOL back in the early days when I was offering music lessons using MIDI files. YouTube opened up the ability for me to have a overhead camera. At that time, you couldn't see me because I only had one camera, and the computer I had was I had built it, so it didn't have that much power in it to run two cameras, but enough to be able to see overhead. So if I called out a chord, you could see where my fingers fall and how they fall on that chord. Now, we didn't have Chordy app back then. This is what we had back in the early days. Although I do have a Chordy app there. This is what you would see, my full placement of my hands. Because I want musicians to know where the chords were they saw me playing. So I would purposely slow it down. Let's go to, I was going to pull up one of my AI singers to sing for me. Mary, did you know? What key did I put that in? Oh, I think I put it in, yeah, that's a good place. C, or A minor, which is C. This is where the scales come into play. Because A minor is C major. How is it? It's the same notes in C major. It's where you start. That's C major. Now you're in C major. Melody is in the scales. Now it's just a matter of placing the chords. So let's hear our AI singer demonstrate that for
Mary,
me.
did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you delivered will soon deliver you.
And it's that easy. You know it's going to be in the minors, but you also know that it's in a major chord or major scale melody, which means you're going to be borrowing notes from the minor or the entire number system scale. She sung a little fast there. Let me put a loop on that. And let's slow her down. So this is one of the things that I let me just change my view. Not the one I wanted. This is one of the things that I enjoy more about 2024 is the ability to have a virtual, and I'll use virtual versus artificial, a virtual vocal, because the singers of the program that I'm using from Dreamtronics, they are actual live singers. They are not a computer algorithm that is simulating the voice of a person. An actual live person used their voice in a computer programming company and they got paid for the use of their voice. But what happens is now with the software, it can emulate what that person would have sounded like with those phonetics, which you program in by adjusting the syllable placement, the note placement, the duration of the note. I make the singer sound like a singer. If I just played a MIDI note, it would be just short, cut notes, no real uh, human touch to it, which means I've got to be able to hear the note before I can actually program it. So I just slowed it down. Let's see how we sound now. And I can put more chords to it now.
Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you
Change the
know
chords.
that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you delivered will soon deliver you.
Looping.
Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water?
Down the scales.
Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new?
4,
This
2,
child that you delivered will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know
moving the keys.
that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you deliver will soon deliver you.
Let's stop. It is that easy. Write down the scale. Hey, welcome 28. I hope I'm not get you up too early. Yes, I do 12:14, 4:12 a.m. Sorry about that. I forget that you're the again. We have viewers from all around the globe, and I'm always happy to know that I can assist them learn this gospel style. See, when I was coming up as a young musician, I didn't know anything about style. I knew about music. I knew about the actual big band because I was a an instrumentalist in my well from junior high school and into high school. So we learned the marching band music, we learned the actual big band sound in high school, and then we dabbled into other genres of music. So all I did was when I began to my journey as a church musician, I brought that sound of what I heard being in a band into the music of the church. As you saw when I was just playing with that vocal track, I was picking the chords I wanted that I heard in my head that would probably fit. I know it's all minor, but I knew in that minor there's a major. I know that major is going to be there. That doesn't be it's not here. But some people will just play the minor because it's comfortable. I'll go up and give movement to it, right down the scale, but down the minor. Let me see what's that chord on it. There it is. Hmm. E. There it is. A minor. Wow. I had to hear that in my head. But that's the actual beauty of gospel music. You're not limited to what's written on paper in front of you. In my early days, the paid musicians read the sheet music. So when they came up time for the preacher to preach, they would ask me to come off the piano because I would mimic what they were doing from their sheet music reading and ask me could I play the organ behind the preacher because they could not fathom a preacher chord. And I says, okay, again, you don't say no when somebody invites you up to a Hammond RT3. And plus, my father was a church musician. He had since moved on. My brother was a church musician. He had since moved on. So when it was my opportunity, there was another musician in front of me who was the organist. But the Sundays he wasn't there, which is generally when the older choir played, I was, and I would be asked up to the organ, and the preacher would start a song. And I see, do I have that song in my repertoire? Let me just look at what I have in the. Okay, let's discard that. Did I have that song in there? I probably got about 40 songs already saved up, and I think I may have put that one in there just as a reminder. Let's see. Okay, it's looking in the. Let's discard these changes. Okay. Let me just see what I have in it. Blessed be the tide that binds. Oh, that's one of the songs he would do. That would be okay. We'll go with that one. Blessed be the tide that binds. I just did that as a lesson. But this would be the closing song for the service. Let me turn the loop on. Now it's sung as a hymn, but I did it as a give me a second. I gotta get the loop point down. Let me just change my point of view. I hate for you to be looking at the side of my face. Yes. Does the program take up a lot of hard space for all those voices? No, it doesn't. Program itself, it's probably about less than 30 meg, I think. And then the voices you get are at the most. Um, I have to go back and look at them because what happens is that the it's a Japanese program, and they did a great job of condensing it to where you could basically run it on any computer, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. The voices are not in a wave file format. It creates a wave file. Again, this is that part of technology that when you start just you scratch your head to say how are they able to do this? how is technology able to get that clean a sounding voice? Where's the song at? Above. Just trying to get a stop point for the song. Let's be. Let me just catch the beginning. Okay, that's Solaria. That's my top soprano singer. I want to pull in Saros and let him sing this. But now I've got to change the his pitch range, which is what you can do. Let's take him down half a full octave. Key of F, I believe.
Of the fellowship of kindred minds is like to that
Now
above.
those are that's this is a hymn. Basic notes.
Blessed be the tides
Passing
that
tone.
bind
Passing tone.
our hearts in
Passing tone.
Christian love.
Passing tones.
The fellowship of kindred minds is like to that above. Blessed be the.
I want to slow it down. That's lesson speed. They were singing, of course, faster than that in church. But it would be the last hymn before everybody was dismissed. The um, learned singers would play it like the hymnal. But as you can see, I would throw in the the jazz movements. Classical turns, jazz. Was it 4-1, 5-4-1? Diminished chord, keeping the melody up top, because that's the only way you're going to recognize a song is with the melody. These are passing tones to get me to the 5. Now I can stay here. To the 3. Nope. Diminished. Yeah, diminished. There it is. Diminished chord. Flat 7 chords. There's my tension chord. And again, those tension chords, they're just to catch the ear of the listener. And you can see my left hand not only does it play bass, which is the lowest note, but it plays assist chords to help fill out what I'm doing. Let me speed this up because that's less than speed. Let's speed this up to go 80, which is what makes this software so great. And that's part of what's going to happen for 2025. I'm not just doing all these virtual vocals just because they sound good. I'm creating a brand for my company, Sound of Joy, for where I will be either contracted or by subscription based to create virtual tracks to assist singers, praise teams, and musicians in becoming better musicians. Now, if they go and invest in the software but don't have the time to learn it, then I can create this actual track, email them the file, and it'll be just like me giving somebody an actual MIDI file, but they will have a vocal there, and then they could change the key to any key they want to practice in. It's going to be a business venture for me. YouTube gives me that platform to demonstrate where I started with the software back in August to where it is right now, to where I basically take any song that I can listen to and duplicate or recreate how I would want it to sound. So let's speed it up a little bit.
Blessed be the tides that bind our hearts in Christian love, the fellowship of kindred minds is like to that.
Next to my bass. Now I'm gonna change it up.
Blessed be the tides that bind our hearts in Christian love, the fellowship of kindred minds is like to that above.
To the one question that was in the chat as to how do I become more fluid in my playing, that is me being fluid. In my mind, I'm going, okay, let's go high and go down the scales. Break into a chord, give me a nice jazz chord to sort of break the pace. Now, if I wanted to, I could. No, it's not what I want to do. Do, 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 do. Control A. There we go. And let's take it up to F sharp.
Blessed be the tides that bind our hearts in Christian love, the fellowship of kindred minds is like to that above.
And when you become fluid, as I say, you don't need a transpose button when you become fluid because you will be able to look at any key. Let's go to, because F sharp may be a little too easy. Let's take it to A major. That's G. That should be A major right there. Make sure I got it right.
Be the time.
A flat. Go up one more. Because this is what fluid becomes. I gotta be looking at the keys to do this correctly. Now I've never done this song in A major, so now I gotta think A major. What are the chords that I normally use? So sing.
Tides that bind our hearts in Christian love, the fellowship of kindred minds is like to that above.
I'm not comfortable yet.
Blessed be the tides that bind our hearts
major.
The fellowship of kindred minds is like to that above.
So now I got to think about the changes I would do in the other keys. And that is fluid. And that's just with an actual hymn. Let's pull another demonstration out because um, oftentimes when I watch other content creators, they pick the easy songs and the keys that are comfortable for them. I say there should never be an uncomfortable key if you purposely, if you practice with the intent to master that key. I want to pull. Okay, don't save those changes. Let's. Oh yeah, that's a good one to use. Church of God in Christ, yes, Lord. Now the Church of God in Christ, which I'm a. What can I put? I'll put myself. I am a member in abstention. I departed from Church of God in Christ after 25 years as a church musician because I had very, very different views over what was required of me and the fact that I was in the church more than anyone else. Those are conversations that I would rather have one on one. But remember, you have a life that you own and not an organization. I'll put it like that. I'm here right now doing this because I made a decision to separate myself from the Church of God in Christ and the demands that they put on their church musician when they won't go out and hire additional church musicians, but they put those demands on you, and you got a family, and you want to be able to enjoy life like they do. But because of this, I am still I have the roots as where I started as a church musician, where I was allowed to interject the jazz sound, and nowhere else can that really be done than in the Church of God in Christ. Yes, Lord. Now I believe I did this in B flat, if I remember right.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
A flat.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes.
So I've created this file as um, a testimony to the type of music that musicians, as you can see, I couldn't read. I was trying to. I'm thinking it's in B flat, and it's actually in A flat. But once I keyed in on where A flat was, I'm like, oh, okay, I remember this now. This is the scales. All these notes are available to me, but also these notes are, let me see, A, that's available to me, that's available, and that's available. Those are the off keys, off from the scale, that is going to help to build the chords around a song like this, which is my diminished, my minor sixes, my diminished chords, and any other jazz infused chords I might want to put in a song as of this type, because it lends for having a lot of music. You just can't play straight notes.
Yes, Lord.
There's my flat 7, my 6 chord.
Yes, Lord.
My diminished.
Yes, Lord. Yes,
And it's all the way in the mud.
Lord.
It Go down in the mud with them.
Yes, to your will. Yes, to your will. Yes, to your will.
Catch that key then.
Yes, to your
Now they're coming up.
will. Yes, to your will. Yes, to your will.
Now you know it's going up high.
Let the church say yes, yes.
Now, it's been some 25 plus years that I have been in the Church of God in Christ as a musician, and that song still resonates within me. Once I start to hear, what is it, 2 words? Yes and yes, Lord. That's it. Well, yes to your will, I added in because depending upon who's in front of the mic, that's what you will get out of it. But that song has a way of turning on uh, past approaches to the song so that it does not run out of steam. You see me doing this. These are all jazz moves. The bottom note. Because for the most part, the song is sung in unison. For the most part. Now, if you got a good choir, they'll know to, or they will hear where they can go to add in some tones to it. All the musicians' chords will actually help to fill out a song like this. But this is what I stress for musicians is you got to hear the music before everyone else hears it, and before you play it, you have to hear it. You have to hear where it's going, and then apply what you've practiced. A lot of what I just did there, just listening to it, I'm pulling it back some of the things I did in the past, and I'm going, okay, I did this, I used to do that. Then when they go here, I give emphasize there. When it's low, I'm down low. When it goes high, I give them this bottom here. Again, there's my tension. And of course the runs. So where do we leave off at? We're getting higher.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. My soul says yes.
Church of God in Christ singers, you never know who's going to be in the microphone, so you got to be jazz, run. That's a jazz minor scale. That's where you get that minor and the 7th in there. All these chords are built on a particular scale. I often would push major, the minor, and the harmonic minor. Then later I had to, as I'm listening to other sites, content creators who teach jazz fluently, talk about the other scales, which I didn't know there was a jazz minor scale. I just thought it was part of the minor scale. But there is a jazz minor scale. Then when I listen back to some of the songs that I've heard in the past, I go, "Yep, there's the jazz minor scale." What had the jazz minor scale? Batman. But the Batman theme song is in the jazz minor scale. But again, knowledge is the one thing a musician, especially for a church musician, must strive for. That's why I don't have any issues at all that other content creators who are teaching their version of how to play for a church is got a larger audience than I do. My era of music has passed. I'll put it like that because I pay attention thanks to the availability of YouTube and Facebook, where a lot of churches are streaming their services. I don't see a place for the type of music that I'm instructing in anymore, outside of the even the bumps and the shout music. They're doing the things that which I wouldn't dare do back in my day because we weren't allowed to go as far as they're going right now. But I'm recognizing that I have to pivot for 2025. And let me stop playing so that I can, as I say, please do that, yes, Lord, to me. And still, uh, it actually resonates with me. So I realized for 2025, which is part of why I'm on this stream, to let you know that get a little bit comfortable in this chair, to let you know that I will be doing some adjustments. The AI voices are really have heightened my aptitude for revisiting a lot of music that I created in my own time as a musician, and the new music that I want to create, um, involving the use of Chat GPT, which I have found to be a tremendous tool. Because all these softwares, they are just tools. I think I'm still up. Let me see. I've got a page for that. Okay, I've got to bring in. Let's see. Where is the? Is this the one that lets me? Yes, this is it. So why won't it come in? I was trying to bring in the. This is my Dreamtronics page. Display capture. Okay, that's the monitor. Okay, and it won't come up. Wasn't planning on it to use it, but I do want to show this tool that others should invest in themselves. Let me do this. Okay, we want display capture. There we go. Better. It is a tool. Am I replacing singers? Um, in a word, yes. In a word, yes. Because I find that today's church that I've been able to hear, today's church singer is woefully or wholly or woefully, they are lacking. They have become mimes that I can listen to. Everybody's screaming in the mic, and I'm like, okay, let me hear the music, and the music is such to where it's like being at a gospel rock concert. So what I want to do is to reestablish um, an order to what pure vocal singing can be. And I'm going to pull up, let's see. without triggering. Because I got triggered on the last time I did Fairy Mountain. Let's pull up. Yeah, I like Get Right with God. Get Right with God is a nice one that I did. It's like old school church. 3-part harmony. We just put the loop in there. To where you have singing with a purpose. This is Get Right with God.
Get right with God and do it now.
Unison
Get
singing.
right with God. He will show you how. Down at the cross where he shed his blood. Get right with God. Get right with God. Get right with God and do it now. Get right with God. He will show you how. Down at the cross where he shed his blood. Get right with God. Get right with God.
Okay, so you don't hear this song anymore, but it's unison, 3-part harmony. Your singers don't have to scream. Your musicians can be musicians. I mean, you could have a nice uh, rhythm section behind that, a tambourine, some actual foot stomping. You'll have old school church just on a song like this. And what this tool allows me to do is to reintroduce some of the types of songs that help build the churches that are being occupied right now. So that's what I'm going to be doing for 2025, but not just creating music, but establishing a resource for the new musicians to be able to also hear their song sang. As I often say, I'm not a singer, but I hear notes. I can tell when a note is flat, sharp, or in the wrong place in the context of a chord or in a chord progression. My ears, it's like offensive. I think I can always paraphrase what the proverb says about the 7 things that God hates. And the thing he hates the most is discord amongst the brethren. So I used to always use that as if God hates bad sounding music. He doesn't like discords. Today they'll call it reharmonization. I'll call it, you know what? It messed up how the song could have sung, but musicians feel every chord they play is the correct one. Me, if it doesn't sound like it's in the correct placement, I won't play it again. I'll remember what I did wrong, and I'll study not to make that same mistake on that same chord. But that's what I'm looking at doing at into one of the additions to 2025 for Sound of Joy. And as you've seen, what I've done with the selection of Christmas music is that I'll take the traditional and then I'll push in a little bit of R&B, a little bit of jazz, a little bit of classical, and I just did the straight spiritual one, which is "Behold the Star." Where is it now? And what I have is this is the key I did it in. I have sheet music, so I created "Behold the Star" from this sheet music. And when I got to the um, I guess solo with ad lib, there was no room found in the end. This is the Star of Bethlehem. I was playing the notes as written on the paper, and I'm saying these notes don't sound right. I said they don't sound right. So I used my ear, and I said, okay, lead with the melody. But I'm like, you know what? The melody's too low. Bring the melody up. Bring the alto with their own note. Bring the tenor with their note, and bring the bass with what I would have written if I did this song. So that one is, yeah, I did that straight harmony. So, and again, this is what I'm doing for 2025. Where is it at? Behold the star. There we go. As you can see, 4-part harmony. I put no music with it until I got to the end. I selected, and you can see the names there. I think you see the arrow there. That's Solaria, my top soprano. Niall, who is my alto, soulful alto. Saros, who is I'll call him the leading voice tenor. And I put 3 instances of him because as his notes get lower, his tone holds its place. I have another tenor whose tone loses its tone as he gets lower because his voice modeling is for an actual higher tenor. And it took me 3 hours to get this to where I feel good with it.
Behold that star. Behold that star up yonder. Behold that star. It is the star of Bethlehem.
Put a pause in there.
There was no room
soprano.
found in the
This is where I
inn.
changed.
It is the star of Bethlehem. For him who was born free from sin. Behold that star.
Okay, I got to turn that loop off. I had the loop on from the previous track. But that's what music for me is. What do I see that's been printed? Okay. I won't say that the notes that were printed out were wrong, but I could not hear them in this current day we're in. But I do want to still respect the actual spiritual chording sound. Now, did they have? I don't want to diss an error because I wasn't there. Spirituals were written; they were pretty much sung by Mahalia Jackson wasn't their top singer. I'll put it like that. And you had a lot of spirituals coming from the historical black colleges when they were putting together gospel groups. Gospel music wasn't what it is right now. So you had to develop an appetite for the chording structures that they would use, especially the actual bass player or the bass singers. I gave them their own part. The first part is what's written, but then I started changing it. This is what the bass singers sound like. I don't think you hear it. No, you don't hear it. Let me go back to here. I didn't adjust this page for just capture the vocals. This is what I gave the bass player. And again, it's what I hear in my head in conjunction with what the voices above are doing.
Behold that star. Behold that star up yonder. Behold that star. It is the star of Bethlehem.
So when you add in all the other voices against the lowest note, and this is answers that question about becoming fluid in your playing. You can become also fluid in what you hear.
Behold that star. Behold that star up yonder. Behold that star. It is the star of Bethlehem.
Then when you add in your alto with your bass and your tenor,
behold that star. Behold that star up yonder. Behold that star. It is the Star of Bethlehem.
And then you add in your tenor voice. Again, this is all programming. This is not something that I just plugged in. I had to program this, play every note, program the lyrics, or type in the lyrics, and then program the pronunciation.
Behold that star. Behold that star up yonder. Behold that star. It is the Star of Bethlehem.
So you've got to have an ear, as they say, to be able to hear every note individually and together. Now, you might say, well, I'm not into spirituals. Well, that's why I did Lord, I Lift Your Name on High. Discard the changes. Don't change anything. As one of the earlier ones that I did, because it gave me a chance to practice. Why don't I see it? Okay. That's because I have so many files that I opened up. Here we go. Lord, I Lift Your Name on High was fun because I wanted to have a representation of what the song sounded like and then what it would sound like if I had a hand in it.
Lord, I lift your name on
And you can chord around
high.
it too.
Lord, I love to sing your
Change my
praises.
sound.
I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came to save us. You came from heaven to earth to show the way. From the earth to the cross, my debt to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky. Lord, I lift your name on high.
Might change.
Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I love to sing your praises. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came to save us.
Gospel.
You came from heaven to earth to show the way. From the earth to the cross,
Attention.
my debt to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high.
I forgot my own break point there. But that is the actual fluid part of what I'm doing for 2025. I'm going to take songs that have outlived. Yes, I'm going to look at every praise says to our God too. I can do something with that. Trust me, I can. And it doesn't require changing the key two times to sort of add a little life to the song. I can keep it in the same key and give it another feel to it music wise, keeping that same beat, maybe adding a little bit of funk to it. Again, when you have a tool like this software where you don't worry about taxing another human voice, but you can uh, emulate or maybe perhaps simulate is an actual better word. What it could sound like. This gives the opportunity for the would-be songwriters who I'm looking for, and I'm sure that there are hundreds, if not thousands of them out there that don't know that I have the ability to help them realize what their song could sound like for a reasonable, and I'm thinking about an actual subscription price done on my Patreon page where they'll pay a certain amount every month and they'll have full access to what this software can do from a solo to now. I won't stretch 4-part harmony. That may be something that I may have to look at, but they'll have a actual resource that they can lean on. And what I do is they give me their idea. I will recreate what it could possibly sound like. And if they decide they want to go to that next step, well, I want a demo production of it. Their the actual monthly subscription gets them a generic working demo. If they want to go full production and with sheet music and copywriting information, that's when we 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 go into a formal contract type of a thing that says, okay, where'd your lyrics come from? Okay, you're using lyrics from the hymnal, using lyrics from the Bible, using lyrics that came in the top of your head, or did we go to Chat GPT and give it an idea and it came out with lyrics and you're picking them from there? I don't want to own anything. I just want to be able to be a resource to help add a new landscape to the type of music that I'm hearing right now being presented to the people in church, because I know I couldn't sit through uh, what I hear now. Most times when I'm listening, I'll listen for 35 seconds to maybe a minute if it sounds like they have a good production going on. And some places do have a good production. And I'm not throwing shade on everybody, but I'm hearing where help is needed. And Sound of Joy, just like we're helping musicians to become a better musician in their local ministries, I want to help singers and directors with the ability to say, hey, I just need the alto part to this song. Can I get the alto part to this song so I can share with my alto players, alto singers, so when we come together? Or do you have an alternative alto song, alto part, so that they can be a part of the song? That's what I'm looking at doing. Just like for those of you that again, have supported this channel with your viewer request. I think we were down this year in the viewer request because I chart them by the month. Let's see, January 24, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19 requests in January of 2024. It's been going down, surprisingly. And I think I'll go with last month, November, and not we just started December. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Only 13 requests for the month of November. So the number is down of requests, but I like to believe that, number one, if you've asked for a request in the past and I've shown you the process of how to break down the song yourself, you don't need me. Again, the old adage, if you teach a musician how to use scales and generic chords to learn songs, then you won't need me to break down every song. Or it's quite possible that they're running out of songs that they are finding that they're being asked to learn in their particular church. Because the majority of the songs that I've been doing now are songs which are from a different era, the praise team era. Some have asked for some of the older gospel songs. Some have asked for testimony style songs. I'm just looking at the listing. Out of the Baptist hymnal, Dewey Smith, Pray For Me. One person wanted Shirley Caesar songs. I'm just looking at the list. When the Saints Go to Worship by Donald Lawrence. That was asked for 4 or 5 times. My Faith Has Found a Resting Place. That's a hymn. You Are My Strength by Miranda Curtis. This is going back into July. Just looking at the list. There Is No Way by Ricky Dillard. Let's see. You're a Great Name, Dorothy Norwood. Order My Steps was in the listing. I'm Going to Be Ready by Yolanda Adams. The Promise by the Mississippi Mass Choir. So it's varied. And I would like to believe that these were the songs they needed to learn for their local church, not just for welcome, Nathan. I do see the chat. I have the chat active. Thanks for coming in and being a part of tonight's stream. We're just having a talk. We are reviewing what's been happening with the channel in 2024. And again, I thank you and everyone that is in the chat and that have been a part of Sound of Joy channel throughout not just 2024, but all the prior years for supporting me with your views, with your likes, with your, for those who did subscribe. We were averaging at one time 400 new subscribers every month. I think that's because I was putting some R&B videos out there. I may go back to doing that. We're down to last month 325 subscribers. So it's always good to see subscribers coming in. You don't want to have a channel that nobody wants to come back and see what's going on. I can track how many are returning viewers. That's up this year, and I do appreciate that. That means you are coming back for more. And my new viewers, I'm just looking at them. Sometimes I see those go up because I put on some R&B music, which I'm going to also do. I'm not going to limit myself to just gospel. Not that I have been, but there were some requests that did come. Somebody wanted something from, let me see, what was that? What was that song? Because I often say if it's a song that is not representative of what this channel is about, then I won't take the time to learn it. But when I listened to it and I heard the chords, okay, these are the chords that they're using in gospel music. So I just went there for that. Again, once you understand what's in the chord, which is basically the alphabet of scales, there's no song that you cannot play. You cannot learn. It's just a matter of are your hands trained to move to that chord when it comes time in the timing to be able to play it. And that's what the overhead camera does for me. It allows you to see my hands and to see that the chord I'm forming, and along, of course, with the actual chordy app, you can slow it down and see that chord and see whether or not you have that reach. If you don't, you see which chords you can omit just to get that particular sound out. So the requests are down. I'm looking at my Christmas list that I put out for me for September. Angels We Ever Heard on High, I'm still working on. Away in the Manger, Deck the Halls. Am I doing Deck the Halls? Go Tell on the Mountain, Jingle Bells, Joy to the World is done. Oh Holy Night is not done. Silent Night is done. Okay, so I'm behind on some more Christmas songs. I put the list together in September to remind me to put these together, but then I started doing my original songs that were for Christmas and having so much fun with those. But I think the last thing we did was Blessed Assurance by Timothy Wright. And then I added to that, Oh, What a Pretty Little Baby by Timothy Wright. And I do appreciate those who have been watching that video, because sometimes I'll put out a video and I question whether or not it's going to meet the need of the musicians. And I'm looking at the count right now, and it's over 100 views in just one day, which is good for my channel. Sometimes I'll only see 20 views, and YouTube does keep track of what is the norm for views. I'm just looking at it now. But that's what I do. That's what I enjoy doing. I need to know whether or not what I am putting out there is being utilized by not only the musicians that ask for it, but for those who may say, hey, that's one I want to learn too. That keeps my view count out. that keeps my likes up. I believe I'm looking at the Blessed Assurance by Timothy Wright. 22 likes on that video. That's a good sign, because the other ones I have prior to that have 10 likes, 4 likes, 10 likes, 5 likes, 7 likes. And I'm like, yeah, I put a lot of time in that video. How come I didn't get that many likes? 6 likes. I'm counting, missing some at 23, 4 likes, 11, 9, 15. Again, what the likes do in the YouTube algorithm, the more you like a video, the YouTube algorithm, which is an AI program, says, hey, if this many people like that video, let's push it out to some other other feeds. Let's see whether or not it's we can make it available for someone else to look at it. I know on my YouTube feed, which I look at every day and night, because I'm always looking to see who's doing what on YouTube and how they're doing it, and what do I need to improve to garner the same views that they get. Sometimes I'll have things pop up on my feed, and I'll go, who's this? And I'll pop in there and I'll go, oh, okay. All right. Especially when it's another content creator that's doing gospel music. I'm like, where'd this person come from? Then I'll do my what I call due diligence. I'll go outside to the internet and pull up their channel and see, who are they? How many people they got? How many videos did they have they put out? What kind of content are they doing? Now, I can't see who the viewers are that view them unless they leave a comment on the page, but it lets me know, okay, there's more people out here supporting musicians around the world that I haven't reached, or they may be some of the viewers that I have reached. My mic is low. Maybe I should move it closer to me. Thank you. I'm looking at my meter. Let me pull it up, open the volume. How's that sound? Sometimes as my voice gets worn, I talk down in the mud. I moved the mic closer and I popped up the volume. Let me know if that's okay. It takes 30 seconds for your comment to register. But what I'm looking at doing for 2025 is kind of what you've seen me do now. As I say, I'm looking at perhaps doing a little more production on the actual lessons, because I do look at other. It's a little better. No, hold on now. What's going on here? Because okay, I pushed up a little bit more. There we go. I see it going into. It's not into the red, but it is popped up there. I've looked at what the other content creators are doing to get the views that they're getting. They do more of an actual production other than one video, 10 to 15 minute long, just shoot it straight through. Let's try to catch the beginning of the song. As you may have seen on the last 2 videos, I had to play with the YouTube algorithm to see whether or not they would flag me for letting the video play through with the music, because I do see the other sites that do have more viewers, they actually do that. They play the music in the background, not fully, but enough to break down what they're doing. But they do it as from a, what's the word they use, from an educational standpoint. They'll give you, and then they'll invite you back to their website for the full lesson. Well, I don't have a website. I've had websites in the past, and I watched the pricing of those websites jump on you. I think the last one that I was trying to see if I can restart a website, they went from $90 a year, and then I got a bill for $800. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. Where'd this come from? Well, we put you on auto renew for 3 years, and the price of the site went up, and I had 5 days to cancel the site under the trial. I said, well, cancel the site and refund my money. Unfortunately, I caught them before they ran off with almost $800 of my money for a website. And I said, you know what? Guess why you're supposed to give me that option after the first trial year, if I'm doing well with the channel, then give me the option to extend it 1, 2, or 3 years. The channel wasn't doing well, wasn't getting any traction, and I wasn't about to pay all that money and watch an account that I have basically get drained out. So I may investigate the website route again for 2025. It'll make it easier for me to be able to market CDs. There is still a market for the older people that who still play CDs in their car. They have not adopted buying music on the internet and then having it in their phone and then using their car phone for as a Bluetooth. I have CD burning equipment here that I invested in that's been sitting now for the last 4 years, I'd say, 4 or 5 years. So I got to go in to take it apart and maybe clean out some of the dust that has built up in it. I have blank CDs. I have CD cases. I have a printer. This is one of my older, one of the last productions I did for the church I was playing for. We had a live recording in 2016, and I created this so that the church could market these in their church to be able to have like an actual fundraiser. If someone gives the church a donation of $20, the church would hand them a CD from a Christmas from a live recording called "Sing Unto the Lord a New Song," a spring concert. I recorded it with my MacBook Pro, 2012 MacBook Pro. It hung in there pretty good, 2016. And these are all original songs that I have written so that we would not be interfering with anyone's copyright. And I made it available for the ministry to be able to use as a fundraiser. So now that I can garnish, in fact, I probably need to redo this CD because some of the singing wasn't top notch. The microphones really weren't that well. But I could go in and substitute. Yeah, I could do that. Substitute the voices now that I have voices. I may relook at that again and see what I could possibly do. But to be able to be a resource for ministries that need to be able to increase their funding for their music department, be it to give a raise to their to their musicians or to invest in them via having me create files for them to practice with. As you can see, I can mimic voices at will. At will. All I got to do is hear it, key up the software, start listening to it, and then we're off and running. I'm thinking, should I do a video, not a video, a demonstration of how easy it is for those who are watching. We don't have but 6 who are viewing with us, and again, I appreciate those who are here. And that's on my listing also for 2025, is to have a set time, maybe at least twice a week, and maybe on the weekend when I will be going live, and just to have conversation and talk about music, talk about where music is going in 2025, because I will be listening. Just as I listened even though I'm retired, I still listen to what's happening. I listen to what are churches using, what are they presenting to the people to hear whether or not if I were in that service, would I have been blessed? And again, I'm a musician who critiques every sound that comes out of the church. So if somebody's beating a tambourine wrong, I'll hear it and take a look like, okay, that's me. And I don't expect anybody to have that same and I'll use the term sensitivity to the music, because I can play when I'm playing. I know when I make a mistake, either my fingering will clash and I'll hear the two notes in the wrong place. You may not hear it, but I'll hear it. The second time around, you won't hear it again. In fact, on some of the videos I've done, I missed a whole section of chords because I was watching the AI move movement across the screen, and I did not have my hands positioned correctly. First time around, second time around, it fell in place because I knew, hey, pay attention to the music. Don't be looking at the screen watching the metering on the AI. But I left it out there because I believe mistakes make everything sound real and human. You don't want it to be like you're listening to programmed music coming out of your keyboard all the time. But that's what I'm looking at doing. And for those who will be watching the replay, I invite your comments, and those that are here, is take an assessment of yourself. And if you want to share, just your thoughts of where musically would you want to be pointed to in 2025. I do have the Patreon page where I've got supporters who I'm thankful for those supporters because they're helping me along with the YouTube views to invest in myself by investing in this software and buying the premium voices. There are no, I think you get one free voice with the program, but every other voice you get is it's a premium charge. I'm probably closing in on. I'm just trying to look at the voices I got. 89, 89, 89. That one came with it. So 160. Probably $350 in voices. The program itself was $151, and that came with a voice you could pick from their list. So I'm probably in the $600 range in investing in this software, and I'm so thankful that those on the Patreon page who have access to me for anything that they would require musically for me to do to them for their support. This gives me that avenue to also share these voices with them from a practice standpoint. If you had not uh, made a purchase of the Christmas chord book that was put together for musicians, for beginner musicians who maybe did not know Christmas songs, and if they were a Patreon member, they had access to the vocals that matched the songs in that book. You heard one of them when I did "Mary, Did You Know?" That was one of the voices that was part from that book, where you could match the chords built on the number system, number one, and then you had other chords placed in that book that you could substitute as you saw me do. So they get access to everything that I'm doing because for their monthly support. Of course, you could join as a free member, and I've got some goodies there for the free members, and I'm going to be putting some more goodies there for the free members also from the vocal standpoint, something that they can work on as we're coming to the new year, and perhaps another chord book, just to let them see the value of actually supporting someone that wants to see them get better. As I often have said, I'm not trying to reduplicate myself through those of you who view my channel. I want to draw out the best that is in you, because during my time as a youngster, musicians would stop playing. They would not give me any advice, show me anything, or even point me in the direction of someone who could. It was only till I got involved in school, high school, public school and high school music, where the teachers took an interest in me and put me around the music and the different styles, that I adapted and transformed when I got back home to the piano or to my father's Lowry organ, which we had in the house. I could now try to mimic those same chords and those same movements to be able to hear everything that was escaping my ears because my hands did not know where to find those notes. which is why you see in my videos always have an overhead camera so that you can see that the notes are on the keyboard and where they are positioned. Well, don't let me again take up any more of your time. We're closing in on 2 hours, which is what I'm going to work on also. I'm not going to have those 6-hour streams as I did in the past, but again, always thankful for those of you who have supported me. I'm not going to let you go without a song. Let's see what I can pull up with the AI singers for the holiday. Can I get away with that? Probably can't. I've got This Christmas also. Well, let's try and get away with it. It's Christmas season. I have This Christmas here. Why is there two? Project does not exist. Okay. Why is it there then if it doesn't exist? I think I saved it in the wrong spot. This Christmas, where is it? Where is This Christmas? Because I even put one of my tracks to it. Yeah, there it is. And I'm sure I will get a copyright on it, but that's okay. This is what I want to be able to demonstrate to you what computers can do. Okay, This Christmas, give me a chance to lock in my keyboard. I want to put the rhythm in there, so I believe I used this one, and we changed the tempo to 100. Is that the one I use? We'll try it out and see if that's the one I used.
Hang out the mistletoe, I'm gonna get to know you better this Christmas. And as we trim the tree, how much fun it's gonna be together this Christmas. Fireside is burning bright, we are caroling through the night. And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me.
That's not what I used. That's the wrong voice. Where is my R&B track? Sorry, I wasn't planning on doing this. Got an R&B track that I use all the time. Here we go. And let's change the tempo to 100. All right, let's try that again. Who's still here? Welcome, Andrew. Oh, come on, you faithful, reharm style? You mean make it sound not traditional? We'll see what I can do. Let's see if I can lock this in now, real quick, so that I don't get.
Hang out the mistletoe, I'm gonna get to know you better this Christmas. And as we trim the tree, how much fun it's gonna be together this Christmas. Fireside is burning bright, we are caroling through the night. And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me.
Wow. Why is that so fast? All right. Oh, come on, you faithful, reharmonized. Reharmonize, oh come, all ye faithful. I'll stay with this R&B. Let's slow it down. I made that up on the fly. There was no predetermined path I was going to take. Even that last part, or the last two or three parts, the vamps, I made that up on the fly. I said, gee, what would it sound like if? What would it sound like if? Circle of fourths was in there. Circle of fifths was in there. Melody was on the top, but then I put the melody in the middle, put in some of the runs. Uh, that is what I enjoy doing. Taking music to where no one else has thought to take it. And if you would ask me to reduplicate that, I probably could reduplicate 70% of it, certainly the end parts, because I was surprised that I could remember to go from the E to the B to the G flat to the D flat, and then walk it up from the 7, 6, back to the 1 on the A flat. And that is all from practicing scales. Oh, thank you, Love Key. I missed this chord. Because I had that beat going. All in the scales. All right, I think I've met your request, reharmonizing a standard traditional song. But again, when you're a musician playing as a solo, you can do anything you want with music. But if somebody was singing, you want to stay within the context of the song so that that singer doesn't get lost in the musical sauce. Again, thank you all for giving me the opportunity to share with each and every one of you. As I say, um, if you have musicians in your area that you feel can benefit from what I'm instructing in, I recognize there are other content creators out there, and they are doing a tremendous job because their numbers speak to that. I'm glad I have the numbers that I have. That means I have a select grouping of musicians who need specific lessons that I can share with them. And that's what I enjoy doing, sharing potentially what may help to break the shell of emerging musicians, um, intermediate musicians, and certainly if an advanced musician can learn one or two extra chords that they haven't heard anyone play, and I've shown you how to do that, then I've done my job musically. Going to let you go. Again, I always like to acknowledge those who are here, so if you will indulge me, I will read the chat. Those who have come in, Try Stone, always a great follower. Regan, please, for Regan Music, if I'm saying your name incorrectly, please forgive me. Dimitrik, let's see, 28, who is from Romania. It was 4:12 a.m. there. Hopefully, it was a Saturday, so that it's not a work day. Oh, Austria. I always get why did I say Romania? Austria in Europe. Tyler was here, and Nathan, Andrew Golf, who joined us, and Love Key 88. I've got that correct. Thank you. As I say, I will be back before the end of the year. Not sure if I may want to do something Christmas Eve. As I say, I've got a lot of programmed voices from what I've been doing with the AI singers. I keep saying virtual singers. I should say VS instead of AI. Raleigh, North Carolina. Oh, okay. It's unfortunate the weather situation there in the North Carolina, Mississippi, Kentucky area, and Florida. We can't control the weather, but we can um, work through it. This is what life is teaching everyone, I think, that you don't know what's coming, but prepare yourself because you may be next. I know when we had Sandy up here in New Jersey, nowhere as devastating as it was in the North Carolina, South Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, certainly Georgia, Florida area. Nowhere as damaging as that was, but when it did hit, I was unprepared. I had battery backups to help run some limited lights and a battery TV, but I had no way of charging them once that was down. We were down for maybe a week and a half here. But since then, my father said, well, go and invest in those not a battery, but those gas powered generators. You just need enough to run lights and to run your heat. So I have two of them that I purchased, and I think I've only used one of them once when we had a bad storm that took out our lights for about 2 days. The other one is still brand new in the box, and I still got the gasoline, which I probably need to get rid of. It's over 4 years old. But I'm prepared for the next one to be able to wire it into the system for keep heat so the wife can stay warm, run the refrigerator so we don't wind up wasting all the food we have, and get back on the internet, provided if, well, actually, I can get on the internet and use my cell phone as a, what do they call that? A hotspot. Yes, as a hotspot if I had to. So I'm prepared for if it's the same as it was, but you never know. You never know. But what does the scriptures say? Be ye also ready. You know not the day nor the hour. It may not be the Son of Man, but it may be the daughter of a storm. Be prepared. From a musician standpoint, I think part of what I want to be able to do is to help a musician not just be prepared for the music ministry in the church, but for the ministry that needs to happen to them, because most times you're the last person thought about in the church, the the actual musician. You become a part of the furniture, you might say. Turn the lights on and the music starts. And don't forget that you have a life. And if you don't have one currently that keeps you locked into being ministry, find a life. Look at others are doing. I use YouTube as my travel guide. People often say, "Well, Sam, you need to travel," and I go, "Why? Why? Why would I want to travel someplace to see people who are less fortunate than me? I can travel by going on the internet and watching someone else's area to see what's happening there." I have no desire. Well, when I was a worker and I worked for IBM, I was a traveling technician. And for years, I would drive hundreds of miles, thousands of miles a year, fixing equipment all hours of the day and night, to the point that when I came home, I didn't want to go out because I'd been on the road for maybe 300 miles. Well, 300 miles, that maybe 3 or 4 days, maybe 100 miles, 150 miles that day. No, it was that much because I had to drive sometimes 4 hours to get to a location, do the work up there, and then 4 hours back. And then I was sometimes wonder, am I going to make it home alive? Because I was so tired. I would pull into a rest stop, get a snack, and then take a quick nap and wake up and go, somebody could have had me right now if I was in the wrong area. But for that reason, hey, welcome, Robert. For that reason, I don't. I have no desire to travel anywhere. I'd rather look at what people are doing in their area of the world or area of the country just by going to YouTube or Google, or sometimes somebody would pop in. They're having a service at a particular church in a different town. I pull up the address in Google and look at the streets and say, look, this is hard to park there, or that's a big church, or that's a small church, just to get a view, just to get a view. And of course, the internet has opened up the world to anyone that wants to see what's happening. That's people let you see what's happening in their life. I'm still amazed how people can sit in their cars and eat a hamburger and get 100,000 views from eating a hamburger. That still has me every time I'm watching it. Yeah, I'm watching you too eat a hamburger, but I'm look at your view count, and you're sitting there smacking on the food and wiping your mouth with your hand, and I'm saying, okay, I'm not going to do that. But who knows? Who knows? I don't see any old guys do it. It's normally younger people in their 20s and 30s who have that audience. So I create my content for the audience that I have, but I'm watching what everybody else is doing too, and I'm saying, well, gee, if it works, why not give it a try? I think I have one or two air fryer videos where I've air fried chicken because I saw so many people air frying their chicken and getting 50,000 views from watching them air fry chicken for 4.5 minutes. So I said, let me put up my video. I can air fry chicken too. I think you see the picture of my pork chops. And did I share the picture of the barbecue chicken? No, I don't think I did that. So, and again, I'll put music around it. That's how I'm looking at it. Doing the actual video of preparing food, which is healthy. An air fryer prepares food healthy for you, not frying in grease, and put some music around it. Now that I have vocals, yeah, rap is not a way. I can do a rap. Like I think I did do a preacher chord video using a one of the non-singer voices that came with this program. His name is Richie, although I haven't made him a singer, but he's more slated towards the rap sound, which is why that voice is there. So I'm going to investigate creating a beat and using the virtual singer Richie to rap and sing. Again, it's all music. It's just how you want to approach it. So I think Robert, you were the last to come in. Merry Christmas to you. I'm sorry that you came in on the last part of it, but this is just conversation, and I will be back certainly before the new year hits. Perhaps I'll have a more detailed layout of what I want to do, which is one of the reasons why I enjoy using Chat GPT. I can give it my ideas and ask what would be a lesson plan that would match what my thoughts are, and it'll just within seconds give me a whole gambit of things that I never even thought of. So that's what I'm looking at doing, using all of these tools of technology to assist musicians in getting to where it took me years to get to. Now we can maybe get you there in less time. So thanks for watching. For those who are seeing the replay, thank you for your support and for watching. If you watched this long, I think I'm over 2 hours, 2 hours and 23 minutes now. Most of these videos, the lives, the average viewing time is under 5 minutes. But I'll try to put some timestamps in it in case you want to jump around and see what was I talking about or what I was playing. If I get a YouTube copyright against the Donny Hathaway this Christmas, I can have that muted out so that I can at least monetize this live stream. Thanks for watching Sam Tobit's Sound of Joy Music Services. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy this weekend. Who knows? I may be back on tomorrow. I don't think we had any viewer requests. Yeah, all the viewer requests were already handled. So we're ending up the year real good. Daniel, welcome. Yeah, Daniel, I'm going to because you're from Guadalajara, if I'm saying it, Guatemala. Thank you. I'm looking at it. My glasses are not to me the word. I want to create music with the Hispanic language. So if you don't mind, when I start posting those, if you could listen to it and tell me if the software is doing the correct translation. In fact, let me do that now that I have you on here live. Let's pull up one of the Christmas songs, and I'm going to change the language, which is another feature of this software. I can type it in English, I can select Spanish, and it's supposedly translates the language, but I don't have anyone to test it with. So let's go and let's get one of the Christmas songs. And we have a viewer from Guatemala. I'm looking at it again. Who can tell me whether or not the translation is acceptable? Let's go with that's a good one to try. Jesus, the light of the world. Huh? Okay. Gotta do something here. The software is telling me some programs don't exist, and I know I created them. Oh, you know what it is? Okay, I got you. I created some of these songs in another program, and it may have put an image of it in here, for me, a ghost image of it in here. That's why it doesn't see it. Let's pull up the Christmas songs. Here we go. And let's pull up Silent Night. Yeah, that's a traditional one. And I'm going to change the, in fact, let me put this up so you can see what I'm doing. So that's Silent Night in English. I'm supposed to be able to go in here, select it all. It's all selected. Go into here and change the language from English, Spanish. There it is. And it should automatically change everything to Spanish. So, Daniel, if you don't mind, let me know if the software did what it said it's going to do. I believe it's in B flat. So I'm going to play along with it. Let's pick another voice. We're going to see whether or not the software is as what it says. It can change the language because I do want to reach another audience.
Silent nicht, Oli nicht, eiskalt, eisliegt, rund jon Bildchen moderant chill, Oli infant so tender mil, slep in ea ben libe, slep in ea ben libe ase.
So there is a 30-second delay. Daniel, if you could tell me, did the software do a adequate job of translating this song from English into a language that is Spanish, which may be, it may not be your exact language, but did you hear the change in it? Let me change the key from C up to I'll let it play through again, and I'll turn my keyboard down sound I had there anyway. We'll let it play again. I'll play a little bit lower so that you could perhaps hear the enunciation and let me know whether or not it is accurate.
Silent nicht, holy nicht, alles calm, alles liegt rund yon Bildchen moderant chill, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in a heavenly bed,
Just a note.
sleep in a heavenly bed, I say.
Because I played a mistake, I had to go back and correct it. Okay, I don't see a response from Daniel. So I would ask that if you watch this all the way to the end, you will let me know. In fact, let me put it in the chat. I should type it in. I can talk to the chat. Make sure I spell your name correctly. Capital S. What is the language? While I'm waiting on Daniel to respond, let's put it in the, let me see, we get English, Japanese, Mandarin Chinese, Canton Chinese. Really not as Spanish. Oh, okay, that's what I need to know, because I'm not fluent. I know maybe the number system, the months, the days of the week, and how to ask where's the bathroom. That's that's the extent of my Spanish. Okay, that's what I need. That's what I need to know. So I'll give them a chance to work on that part of it, or I'll go to the software site and ask them, you know, is there a dialect of Spanish that this is more geared towards? Because I would like to create songs in other dialects so that I can bring in another audience. Everybody in the world does learn English as the second language. That was one of the things I learned when I was in public school. I'm translating now. Why won't you translate? Okay. I'm using Google Translate. You did translate Silent Night. What words did they give? Because that would be the first.
Silent night.
Oh, I switched it to English. That's why it says that. Bring it back to Spanish. Let's see what it says.
Silent night.
Yeah, okay. So, thank you. These are the type of things that I need to work out for 2025, as I want to be able to expand the music into different dialects. Again, when you don't have a live singer, but you do have a virtual one, and they gift it or they write in um, different attributes to it, you want to be able to take advantage of it. So I know I can't take advantage of the Spanish translation. Here it says sing in the following language. And I know now that that is not going to be correct for me. All right. But what I can do is get the translated version in Spanish and then type it in. Let me do that. I've got you here. Let's type in Noche de Paz. Let's see. No, so you can see how that's done. Select it. We're in the English language. Okay. Noche. Two syllables. De Paz. Let's see what this sounds like.
Noche de paz. Noche.
All right, so it did not like that. Let's turn it to Spanish. Now that we've typed in Spanish, let's see what it sounds like.
Noche de paz.
Did that pass the test? Sounded okay to me.
Noche de paz.
Let me You can't see what I'm doing here. Going into translate. I'm getting a lesson here. Translate English to Spanish. Enter text. Holy night. Noche Santa. Holy night. We're going to change to I gotta be able to move the phonetics. Okay, that's going to be a problem because I don't know the dialect.
Noche Santa.
So that should be Holy Night.
Noche de paz.
Silent Night.
Noche Santa.
That should be Holy Night. If Google Translate is correct. Let's see. All is calm. Because again, when you're doing English to Spanish, the dialect is, the word dialect will throw you off. All is calm. I'm just copy and pasting now. 3 notes.
Todo es almeja.
That may be wrong. All is bright. I'm using Google Translate to give me Spanish. Never thought of doing it this way because I thought the software. All is bright. 3 notes, 3 words. Paste it in. Hey, Daniel, you'll let me know if I'm on the right road. Let's see, we got
Noche de paz, noche santa, todo es almeja, todo es brillante.
so this is Spanish. A little more work. A little more work, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. Round, Jan, virgin. That may be an issue in Spanish. Ronda es a virgin. Let's see if I can get that correctly in. Insert lyrics. Ronda es. Let's see how this sounds.
Ronda esa vida.
Mother and child. Yeah, you're watching this live. We're doing this live. Mother and child, because I'll put a whole track around this. Madre y hijo. Again, I did take Spanish. Didn't say I was good at it, but I did pay attention to the pronunciation of the lyrics. Insert lyrics. Mother and child is okay. Let's see if we can get this in there. Madre, mother. So we add a phonetic and child. Get everybody in there? Yes.
Vir madre hijo.
Holy infant. Holy infant. Holy infant. And so, Santo Infante entonces. Gotta figure out how to write this in. The notes are the same. It's just a matter of the where you're gonna pronounce, where it's gonna be pronounced at. Holy. So we need to put a punctuation after two punctuation, right? No, one. See how we got this.
Santo tinfanento. Santo tinfan entonces.
That didn't go well. But again, it's because I'm now giving it programming. It's not expecting.
Te holy infanso.
Okay, because I changed the language. That's why. If I put it back to English and do that, what will I get? Put it back to English. Okay, it changes everything because I put it back to English. Let's try this. In the English, put in the Spanish lyrics. So, doing it live. Okay, now we try it. Pronunciation. Infante. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Doing the punctuations.
Santo infant,
All right. So let's go back. Let's do it one at a time. Holy. You're watching what I'm going to be doing in 2025. So we got Santo. Let's get them words in one at a time.
Santo,
Okay. Infant. So that's what we got here. Insert lyrics. Let's just see what we got so far.
infante, entonces infante,
Okay. All right. So pronunciations. Three.
infant, entonces
Tender and mild. Who joined us? We're just verifying that I can do this. Ooh, okay, we've got two different dialects, female or feminine dialect and a masculine dialect for tender and mild. Let's go with the masculine dialect. Tenero y suave. Tender, tender, and mild. Okay, so we've got the pronunciation. Pronunciation and mild. Okay, let's go to the beginning. Let's see what we got here.
nos
What
tipas,
happened there?
nos Santa, to do es Almeida, to do es brillanti, randa e sever madre Santo infan entonces tierno y suave.
I think when I switched it to English and put the words in, it changed the dialect. Let's go back to Spanish and let's see what it sounds like. It sounded better when I had it set up for. And Daniel, you tell me if I'm hearing what I'm hearing.
Noche de paz, noche santa, todo es almeja, todo es brillante, ronda es sabir, madre, hijo, santo, infan, entonces tierno y suave.
Sleep in heavenly peace. Those are the next words. Sleep. I'm using Google Translate to give me the pronunciation or the Spanish pronunciation. Sleep in heavenly may be a heavenly. Okay, one just to show the words in what English is. Dormir en el cielo. Sleep in heavenly. Let's see. Copy. Sleep in heavenly. Sleep in heavenly. I think we can get all the words in there. Paste. And as you can see, this how easy this is to do. Once you got the notes down and you put the lyrics in, you adjust the lyrics to match what you want to do. Sleep in heavenly. So dormir en el cielo. It's two pronunciations down. Well, we'll give it one. We'll give it two.
Dormir en el cielo.
Peace is the next word. Pause. Okay. This is what goes on in my head. How can I do better? Sleep in heavenly peace. Let's see if we can get this sleep in. Come on, don't do that. Sleep in. Dormir tarde. Let's see if this is good. Okay, didn't do it right. What happened? Two and two. Oh, where'd the other word go? Okay, we need at least one, right? Pronunciation. Where'd it go? Sleep in, sleep in. Okay, so let's keep erasing a word. Paste it back in and just put it in as that. Let's see, what do we get? Okay, go back and look at it. Take that out. Put in one. Oh, using the wrong thing. It's a plus, not a minus. There we go.
Dormir tarde.
Heavenly peace. And that'll be the last. Paz celestial. Okay. Words are backwards, but that's okay. Heavenly peace. Let's see if that's it.
Pase.
Okay, put that as a plus for pronunciation.
Paseles.
Okay, it's not giving me the. All right. Let's change this. To this.
Paseles.
Celestial. Why am I not getting that? Change this. See if that'll give me the. Okay, there it is.
paz celestial.
All right, so now I think we have the Spanish language version of Silent Night. Daniel, once again, if I may impose upon you to let me know, is my typing good and my pronunciation, or placing the pronunciation around these lyrics good? Here we go.
Noche de paz, noche santa, todo es almeja, todo es brillante, ronda esa vir madre, hijo, santo infante, entonces tierno y suave, dormir en el cielo paz, dormir tarde paz celestial, noche de paz, noche santa, todo es almeja, todo es brillante, ronda esa vir madre, hijo, santo infante, entonces tierno y suave, dormir en el cielo paz, dormir tarde paz celestial.
Okay, I see. Let me see. Go and some lyrics here and YouTube in Spanish. Oh, okay. Put on not in the lyrics. Here is not really very well the words. Let me hear now. Okay, I shouldn't have been playing with it. I probably just let it sing. But yes, you have the correct path I should go. Go hear how it is sung by correct singing, and then that'll give me a better template. That's why I like talking with the chat. When I have some ideas, Chat GPT probably would never have told me to do this, because I would have asked Chat GPT, how could I, can you direct me to where I can hear it being done? Let it play through without me playing behind it, so you can tell me how bad it is.
Noche de paz, noche santa, todo es almeja, todo es brillante, ronda esa vir madre, hijo, santo infante, entonces tierno y suave, dormir en el cielo paz, dormir tarde paz celestial, noche de...
Stop. I got that guy screaming too high. Either lower the key or change the vocalist. Let's put Natalie. That's more of her range.
Noche de paz. No.
No, I don't think she sings Spanish. Does Natalie do Spanish? Oh, she does. Okay.
Noche santa. Todo es almeja. Todo es brillante. Ronda saber, Madre, Hijo, Santo, Infante, entonces tierno y suave, dormir en el cielo paz, dormir tarde paz celestial.
All right, that's Natalie. Who else speaks Spanish here or sings Spanish? Solaria? You speak Spanish too, Solaria?
Noche de paz, noche santa, todo es almeja,
Just testing this out.
todo
Doing it
es
live.
brillante, ronda esa vil madre, hijo. Santo, infante, entonces lleno y suave, dormir en el cielo paz, dormir tarde paz celestial.
Out of her range. Just trying to see which one of these voices is going to give the best representation from what I typed in. Niall, I don't think you're. Well, let me see. That's my soulful singer.
Noche de paz, noche santa, todo es almeja, todo es brillante, ronda esa vil madre, hijo, santo, infante, entonces tierno y suave, dormir en el cielo paz, dormir tarde paz celestial.
All right, and that's the last voice I'm going to audition. But you're seeing what keeps me up. You want to know what keeps me up at night? The possibility to be able to not just do songs in English, but in the different language models where, and I guess I'm going to have to go and take some basic Spanish courses for proper pronunciation for singers. And I can do that. Why? Because I'm retired. I just go to the site that has it and then go and educate myself on how the Spanglish dialect is applied to basic songs. You don't go for the real, I'm not looking to go and rewrite Total Praise in Spanish, although it hasn't been sung in Spanish. So yes, I may just, because I have the track for Total Praise already. I've got the vocals down exactly the way they are sung, note for note, to the original song. It is one of my collection of my catalog. So yes, I will go and find perhaps a site where they are singing Total Praise in Spanish and get the proper dialect. I believe a lot of these channels, they do give you the CC closed caption, and I can select which voice I want or which language I want to see. So that'll give me the correct words that are being enunciated. So yes, 2025 for me anyway. I can bring in 2025 now. Thank you, Daniel, for giving me a point of reference to let me know that the software is not accurate enough to where you can understand it, because I know that every time you leave a comment on the page, I have to translate it, and I do get a good translation, and then I make sure I answer you back in the Google Translated. So I don't know if you still hear me or not, if you're still here, but thank you. And for those who have come in and watched me uh, peer into what's coming in the future, 60% good. Some of the words are not good. If you improve, go to some page. Yes, I think I will do that after I close this live stream. I'll drink some water, perhaps get some cookies. What time is it? 12:38. 3 hours, and go hear how it should sound, and then match it up and educate myself. Educate myself. So yes, look um, for right now the Spanish translations to songs I've written, because I don't write songs that are wordy. You basically get single pronunciations to them, but it'd be nice to hear some of the songs I've written translated into the Spanish language, and that'll be a new avenue for me to be able to bring in more listeners and press some potential subscribers. And if I do put out, which I am going to do, is put out musical adaptations of songs, that I'll have a new audience in which to market to. So, again, for the fifth time, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Daniel. You're the last person to come in. So I always want to acknowledge the last person to come in on the stream. And thank you for your translation assistance. You have helped me immensely. I now have a direction. Thank you very much, everyone. Please enjoy the rest of your weekend as it is coming, and your Sunday. As I say, I may go live tomorrow. Thank you, sir. Take care. Be blessed, everyone.